What is going on, NFL fans, and welcome back to another episode of the For Your Viewing Pleasure. I'm Jeff Hartman, joined by Wesley Coleman as we get you geared up for Week 12 of the NFL. Can't believe it, Week 12. We're only a week away from Thanksgiving. What's up, Wesley?
Man, yeah, we're definitely getting to the holiday games and all those special short weeks for more teams and all. Yeah, it's late in the season. It's crazy.
It is, and it sucks because it's going by so freaking fast and we enjoy it so much, and then it's just gone. But we're going to break this week down like we do every single week, and we're going to start off with the primetime games. The international series is put on hold. I think they might be done. Are they done with the international games after the Madrid game?
I don't think so. I think that I thought the
Jacksonville's
next
got to have one more over there, I think.
maybe they are. Maybe they are.
We'll look on that. But it's still Thursday
Looking
night
ahead,
football.
they're done.
They're done. All right. International series is a wrap. Thursday night football. Bills at Houston Texans. No CJ Stroud expected as he still deals with a concussion and he's in the concussion protocol. The Bills are coming off a huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. This is a weird one. I know it's 7-3 and 5-5. The Texans have been playing tough. Buffalo's giving 5.5 points on the road. It is difficult for road teams on Thursday night. What do you think about this one, Wesley?
Yeah, I think Buffalo kind of got humbled by their Miami experience a couple weeks ago. This seems like around the time that Buffalo stops losing the games they shouldn't lose and kind of starts rolling in the right direction. Also, I mean, giving it to Buffalo is that they're now 2 wins behind the New England Patriots for first place in their division. They're wanting to keep pace there for sure.
They can't drop a game because New England's schedule gets pretty soft down the stretch.
Really soft.
And they might play the Jamar Chase-less Bengals this week. Now, as of this being recorded, he is suspended. He is appealing that suspension, so we'll see. But we're not talking about that game. The Texans at home, 5.5 points. Do they cover? Do the Bills cover that 5.5?
Yeah, Bills are good there. I think they're winning that game.
I'll take the Texans getting 5.5. I don't think they win outright, but on the road, typically these games can be low scoring and they can also be that totals 43.5. That's a good line. So Thursday night football, I wish CJ Stroud was playing. It would be a little bit more.
I like
there'd
that.
be a little bit more draw, but
I wish it was.
Yeah. Let's go to Sunday night football. This is, I think, the game that in terms of the primetime slate that's kind of saving the day. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who again have been just hot and cold the entire season, they played the red hot LA Rams in LA, SoFi Stadium. 8-2 Rams, 6-4 Buccaneers. The Rams are spotting a touchdown, 7 points. What do you think about this?
And I love this. And this is the game. Listen, Tampa Bay's been good. Their losses have been to good teams. They lost to the Patriots and they lost to the Bucks recently, or the Bills. Sorry. The Bucks are a very good team. The Rams can't have a letdown coming off of that big interdivision win against Seattle, but the Rams come out of this and they're your early Super Bowl favorite. Like they're really looking like the team that can. Their defense looks really good. They've shut down some good offenses, and then they can score with anybody. The Rams win this game, they start becoming a really scary team to have to go on the road to play.
Well, it's funny because I know that I did a show with Coach Kevin Smith yesterday, the Whip Around, and he said, "Who's going to go into Philly and win?" I said, "I think the Rams can. They almost did it in a snow squall last year, and I feel like they're built to do it again." I think that this Rams team, and I'll ask you your opinion, I think they're better this year than they were last year. You agree or disagree?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Nakua's taken another step. They've really figured out Kyron Williams is still great, but they figured out using Blake Corum a little bit more than they did last year. And then what Matthew Stafford's playing at an all-time level. I think he hasn't been healthy his entire career,
Right.
but he's healthier this year than he was last year, which is not what we expected coming into the season. And then his use of his tight ends, Higbee and Ferguson, and they have a third tight end that they're throwing to. Like, it's pretty ridiculous what they're doing, and everybody thought that it was maybe a big mistake when they got rid of Cooper Kupp, but bringing in Devontae Adams is also
that's what I was going to say.
He's a decent number 2. He's okay.
Oh yeah, there's also Devontae Adams that we haven't mentioned yet. But Tampa Bay is. Let's talk about Tampa Bay quickly. They're a tough nut to crack at this stage of the season. They've had injuries. Mike Evans, I think he might be done for the year. Is he not?
No, he'll be back.
He'll be back. Okay.
Yeah.
You still haven't seen a lot. I mean, I don't know. They just seem so inconsistent. Right when you think the offense is getting it together like they did in Buffalo, the defense couldn't stop anyone. What are your thoughts on Tampa Bay?
Yeah, their defense has let them down. Their offense is pretty good. They've again the injuries. So they have three really strong running backs. They have not all three been healthy for any games since like week 1 or 2. Bucky Irving's still been out, and then their receivers have not been healthy.
Yeah.
This is a team that if they get healthy though is really scary because I don't know they haven't had Godwin, Igbuka, and Mike Evans together for a couple of months. Mike Evans broke his collarbone, but they're expecting him back sometime in a few weeks.
Okay. All right.
The other thing with the Rams too, though, is if the Rams win this game, 4 of the remaining games are 1 against the Panthers, 1 against the Falcons, and 2 against the Cardinals. So I mean, they do play the Lions and Seahawks, but they start stacking up a lot of wins if you go ahead if they win this week. I mean, they start putting together a pretty good resume and a lot of numbers.
The tough question for me is, do the Rams cover the 7 points though? That's a lot.
It's I don't know. I don't know if I like the 7. I think that again, I think the Rams have found a way to keep these low scoring. I would probably not take the 7, but nothing would surprise me.
I get it. And then, hey, the culminating event, Monday Night Football. Who can't wait to see the Carolina Panthers head out to San Fran to play the 49ers? But as we mentioned before we hit record, the 49ers are 7-4. The Panthers are 6-5. Then the 49ers are spotting a touchdown. What do you think about this Monday night game?
I think that the average person who, like, if this is not one of your teams and you just watch the NFL, would see this, oh, we got one of those terrible games on Monday night because, you know, Brock Purdy being out has made the Rams, and the Rams have had some big injuries too, but has not made them like followed. And then, I mean, the Carolina Panthers, but if you just like you started with, both of these teams have winning records, 6-5 and 7-4. It's maybe not a terrible game. I don't know. It's the 49ers are really interesting because they're kind of like the forgotten team in that division with the Rams and Seahawks. They have the same amount of wins as the Seahawks. So, I mean, they can really be right back in it.
George Kittle coming back, he has really kind of made that offense have a little bit more of a dynamic edge. Juwan Jennings has been okay. Ricky Pearsall, he's been in and out of the lineup.
McCaffrey's been all right.
Have you heard of him before? I don't know. I think he's a new player, but still, they are a good team. And they've, like you said, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. Let's also not forget Bosa's out for the year. Fred Warner's out for the year, and they're still winning football games. So there is some intrigue there. And again, the schedule makers, when they did this Monday nighter in week 12, I don't know what they were thinking, but boy, did they get lucky. I mean, when you think about it, boy, did they get lucky that the Carolina Panthers have made something out of this, that it's not a complete dud. So we'll see. All right, let's go into our must-watch games of the week. We've talked about one of them definitely a lot. Are there any other games that you think could be labeled as must-watch that's not Sunday Night Football?
Well, listen, I'll say, first of all, I think the games are getting better right now because even games with teams with bad records, it's bad teams are starting to figure out what they can do well. Also, bad teams that have younger players, those players are starting to develop. So we've seen some surprises. We've seen some really good games from games that you went into it not thinking they'd be competitive. So, I mean, games have been great. Having said that, outside of the primetime games, there's one game that just sticks out way above all the rest. And you have the Indianapolis Colts going to Kansas City to play the Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 3.5. This is a noon Central Time game, 1 p.m. on the East Coast.
Yeah.
But this is a big game I'll talk about in a second why it's so important, I think, for the Chiefs. But this is a big game for both of these teams. The Colts have not necessarily been consistent. The Chiefs definitely have not. Chiefs now 5-5. What do you think about this one, Jeff?
This is interesting. And let's start off with the fact that no one saw the Jaguars blowing the doors off the Chargers last week. And so why does that matter? It matters because now the Jaguars are 6-4. The Colts are coming off a bye week and they're 8-2. So if you drop a game, it opens up the door for the Jaguars, who play the Cardinals this week, to potentially be in the mix for the AFC South. That's a huge, important fact that we need to mention right there. But the Chiefs, they're 5-5. You're looking at the Broncos as the top of the AFC West. I mean, the Chargers obviously dropped a tough one last week, but the Chiefs are not in the playoff picture right now. Like, how insane is that we're in week 12? And I'm not saying they're not going to make the postseason, but how crazy is it that we're in week 12 and the Chiefs are not in that playoff picture? That is insane to me. 3.5, I think, is fair. And I think it's going to be a tough game for Kansas City.
Well, I'll tell you this: if the Kansas City Chiefs lose this game, they are not making the playoffs. They will be 5-6, and here's why. Right now, like you said, they're out of the playoff picture. They are ninth. They're tied in record with the Houston Texans, but they lose the tiebreaker to them. They are ninth right now, so they got to get up to 7th to make the playoffs. That means they'd have to pass the Texans and the Jaguars or Chargers. Okay, one of those two. Now, the Chiefs, they lose this game. They do have a decent schedule going forward. Cowboys, Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders. I think they can easily go 500 there. But here's the problem for them. The Jacksonville Jaguars moving forward play the Cardinals, Titans. They do play the Colts. And then they play the Jets, Broncos, Colts, Titans. The Jaguars are winning more than half those games. So just against, they got 2 games against the Titans and a game against the Cardinals and Jets. The Jaguars aren't dropping those. And it makes it, if the Chiefs lose this, it makes it impossible for them to jump the Jaguars. And so then you're counting on some games against the Chargers. And the Chargers weren't good this last week, but I think that they can play 500 ball moving forward and stay above the Chiefs. This is a big game. If the Chiefs lose this, they don't make the playoffs. That's my prediction.
And I think that's fair. And I wouldn't say that's a huge stretch either, but I'll say this. I was having a discussion with some of the people at the Steel Curtain Network and saying, when do you think it's appropriate to start looking at the playoff picture? And we all kind of agreed post Thanksgiving. I think you're showing that it's now. It's now.
I can start doing pretty easy math about how you can be eliminated this week.
Right. So week 12, yes, I know we're not at the Thanksgiving break and all that stuff, but you got to look at this and think, you can start looking ahead at what teams are on the bubble. What do they have coming up? Yes, we don't know injuries. That can change everything. But at the same time, I think it's now. And I think this is a must-watch game. I think Kansas City 3.5. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think the Colts, I think they win this game. I think that they are coming off their bye. I think that they're going to come into this game and Jonathan Taylor can run. It's over. It's over.
You know who else has a chance of being eliminated from playoff contention this week? The Baltimore Ravens.
If they lose.
Also 5, and they have an easy schedule. Again, the Ravens could almost be eliminated even if they win, just by who else wins games. Like, this gets really tough on them. Now they've got a couple of, this is where it gets interesting if Joe Burrow comes back later in the year, because they play the Bengals on Thanksgiving and then they play them again 2 weeks later. But they got 2 games against the Bengals, 2 games against the Steelers, and they play the Patriots and Packers. This is the last, this might be the last of the season the Ravens are favored in, depending on what Joe Burrow looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, again, those are the teams. A lot of people thought it's Ravens and Chiefs, along with the Bills, fighting for who wins the AFC and goes to the Super Bowl. 2 of them might be eliminated in a couple weeks.
Well, it's simple mathematics. Like, the Ravens have done what we thought they were going to do with the soft belly of their schedule, and now it's going to get ramped again towards the end. But the AFC North is not going to have 2 teams represented in the postseason.
No.
It's 1. You got to win the division. And yes, the Steelers could fall flat on their face. No one would be shocked. That includes me. But the Ravens are going to have to win some of these big games down the stretch. And that New England game in the early portions of the season, everyone thought, man, why are we even talking about this? Now, all of a sudden, that game is shifted dramatically. And the Ravens, even though they have clawed their way back, they've won 4 games in a row. They did not look great against Cleveland. If you watch that football game, I'm sorry, the Dylan Gabriel / Shador Sanders Browns were really close to winning that football game.
Well, 2 weeks ago, who beat Cleveland?
2 weeks?
The New York Jets.
Yeah.
The New York Jets.
And they're going away from Justin Fields, and Tyrod Taylor is going to start. Is
this supposed to be a 13-point game? Like, is there more intrigue
Give
there
me
than
the Jets getting 13? I'm sorry. Like, the Ravens could have turned this into a laugher. I wouldn't be shocked, but that's a huge point spread.
Any other games on the schedule? I know we're kind of talking about that when we got off in the playoffs a little bit. Any other games on the schedule after the Colts and Chiefs that you're just like, I don't really need to pay attention to this?
Well, I mean, for the division purposes, the Vikings, Packers, maybe, but I don't know if that's must watch. I think that might be closer to sneaky good or an upset alert pick. What do you think about Steelers Bears?
And the Bears, I'm gonna again. This is 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna have to pat myself on the back because I told you before the season ever started that by the time we got to the second half of the schedule, I didn't think the Bears were going to be here now, but I was like, man, they're going to be pushing for this division and maybe being in second place in their division late in the season. They're in first place in their division. And talk about like not the way anybody thought that division was going to, link up when you've got the Bears, Packers, Lions, and Vikings. A lot of hype around the Vikings and JJ McCarthy, and he's playing with this great offense, great coaches. The Lions, and what are they going to do? The Packers are like the next great darling. The Bears are kind of the forgotten one in there. Bears are in first place right now, only 7-win team in that division. Going into this with the Bears are actually playing okay, and the Steelers have, even they scored some points last week. I know you're not happy about the way those points got there and how it looked. This one's I think a tough one. What do you think?
I think that there's some intrigue here for a lot of reasons. Aaron Rodgers' injury is definitely going to be the talking point this week.
It's not even his throwing hand.
No, I get it, but no, that's fine. But to me, the true better the last 2 or 3 weeks, and
out of nowhere.
It's since Jalen Ramsey has moved to safety full time. And Kyle Duggar, the trade acquisition from the Patriots, it at least has solidified the back half of their defense. Asante Samuel Jr. is on the practice squad. I would expect him to be promoted this week, be as a viable option at corner, at least in the slot, maybe outside. Not saying he's going to start, but I'm just saying that I think the Steelers defense is going to give Caleb Williams fits. And that's, what is the total? 45.5. Take the under.
Under for sure.
Take the under. I think Mason Rudolph starts this game. Mason Rudolph has won games for the Steelers before. He has saved Christmas on more than one occasion. But at the same time, shoot, man, it's been since 2019. Are you kidding me? Like Steeler fans, Rudolph, Christmas time, like it's the same thing every year. This is not news. I will say this. I think even with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, they can win this football game. But the defense is going to have to bail them out and get some turnovers. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
Steelers getting 3. I'll take them. I will take the Steelers getting 3 on the road. Because the Bears are winning these really close games where they're coming from behind, last second stuff. They did it, and those 1-score margins, that's a fine line you're walking.
I do want to go ahead and just mention, so there's going to be one, the 3:25 game or 4:25 game Eastern time that's going to be intriguing. So you've got Cleveland versus the Raiders, you've got Jacksonville versus Arizona, you've got Atlanta versus New Orleans that nobody cares about. Your nationally televised game that everybody's going to have on is the Eagles against the Cowboys. Now this is one the Eagles have not looked, again, we do this every year with them. They've got a record that is way better than what the team looks if you watch them play. They don't play like an 8-2 team. They started off with the Cowboys of the season, the first game of the season, and the Cowboys should have won that game. The Cowboys had multiple mistakes, including 3 drops by CeeDee Lamb, which he just doesn't do, and the Cowboys gave away that game. Now, Cowboys with a losing record, but with this win, they get back to 500, and they have a tie on their record that's going to end up helping them when it comes to playoff picture at the end of the season. This is a big game for the Cowboys, and I'll tell you, for a team that runs the ball like the Eagles, Quinnen Williams looked like a really good trade there for the Cowboys. The guy they got from the Packers and they traded Micah Parsons, run stopper. Quinnen Williams, run stopper that will go get the quarterback. They got these 2 guys for facing the Eagles. They included in the trade with the Packers that the Packers, if they traded Micah Parsons to the Eagles, had to give the Cowboys another pick. So is going to have this game. It's going to be the only game on nationally everywhere. This game's going to be better than what the records show.
So the Eagles, like you said, it's kind of smoke and mirrors. The way that they go about it, the way they do it, they're winning, and you can't take that away from them. And Jalen Hurts is making the plays, and people say, and you've said it before on this show, he's not a great structural quarterback in terms of staying within the structure, but they're winning games. So how do you argue that? They won the Super Bowl last year. To me, I want to look at the defense. Philly's defense looked really good against the Lions. You can't take that away from on Sunday night.
And against the Packers.
But Dallas's offense is really good. And when George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb did what they did, but if they can stay on the same page, that is a really good and dynamic offense. This is going to be a huge test for the Eagles. And I'm sorry, I'm looking at 3.5. Let's go into the upset alert. I say take the Cowboys getting 3.5 at home. I love home dogs. That was the game I was thinking. What do you think for upset alert?
I'm 100% agree on that game. It was going to be mine as well. I think it can surprise people. The Cowboys, the amount of points that they put up this past week, just they're starting to look good. And George Pickens is getting talked about as, real wide receiver one. Like he makes some amazing plays. It's great. Your other upset is, we were just talking about points we talked about earlier. I don't think the Ravens can cover the Jets on their 13. I think that seems out of hand for that. And then
I got another.
Yeah,
I got another
one there.
I do.
Oh yeah, the Monday night game.
No.
What you got?
Give me the Lions. Give me the Giants getting 10.5.
I looked at that.
I'm sorry, that's a double-digit spread. The Giants have kept all these games really close. I don't know who's going to be a quarterback. It's Jackson.
Jackson Dart, I feel much better about that.
You don't like Jameis? Jameis almost beat the Packers last week.
I love Jameis.
Close game.
Love Jameis.
Yeah, I know you do. So that's another upset that I would take. Give me the Giants getting 10.5 over the Lions. And remind for all the listeners out there, viewers, I'm not saying they're going to win straight up. I mean, if you want to take that one, the Giants are getting a plus 425 odds on the money line. I'm not jumping on that one, but I will take the
50.5 there with that Giants. That's a huge spread for a 50.
And it's crazy when you think about it, because the Giants have been playing teams tough. And then you look at Seahawks would be more, but I guess the Seahawks are coming off of a loss, so we'll see. All right, sneaky good games. What are some games you're looking at on the docket that we haven't talked about that might be pretty good, actually?
I mean, there's going to be some intra-division intrigue around the Falcons and the Saints just because of the history there. And this actually will probably end up being what is a competitive game between two bad teams. Kirk Cousins is going to be starting for the Falcons. Michael Penix is out. To tell you the truth, I think that makes it a harder game to win for the Saints, not because he's a better quarterback, but because the Falcons now can't screw it up by trying to throw the ball too much. For having Bijan Robinson and Tyler Edwards, they throw the ball way too damn much for an okay quarterback in Michael Penix. I don't think they're going to do it with Kirk Cousins. I think they're going to run the crap out of the ball, and they should. So I think that makes it interesting. But also, Tyler Shuck coming off the first win of his career. Tyler Shuck announced this week that his wife is expecting a baby, so he's having an all-time month. Winning a home game against the Falcons, the biggest rival of the Saints, would be interesting for him. It'd be great.
That's a good one. I'm going to go with Patriots at Bengals, and I'll tell you why. Joe Burrow is in the 21-day window to return. And the Bengals are thinking that maybe, just maybe, they can make something happen. They have to win this game to make it worth bringing Joe Burrow back. If they lose this game, what's the use? If you're 3-8, Joe, take the year off. Yeah, I know we're paying you a lot of money. It's not worth it. Now, if Jamar Chase is in the lineup and he gets his one-game suspension appeal overturned and he's able to play, I like it even more. But the Patriots are, I think, that at 9-2, and they're coming off a Thursday night win last week, they might be drinking their own Kool-Aid a little bit. Going into Cincinnati, and yes, that defense is atrocious. It's statistically one of the worst defenses in the NFL's history. But there's something about this game that thinks it's going to be close. It's going to be competitive. And the Bengals, including Zach Taylor, might be coaching or playing for their careers. What do you think about that?
I like it all because I like Joe Burrow and I like Jamar Chase. And man, I'd really like to see the Bengals fighting for something. I just don't think Mike Vrabel lets that happen.
You're probably right.
I just think there's a few coaches that I think really make a difference in games, and I think he's one that would never let that happen with this team. Listen, he's made Stephon Diggs has been a great member of the team since being there, and that's Mike Vrabel doing that. That's not Stephon Diggs grew up all of a sudden. So I like it. I wish that would happen. it's a big spread. I mean, would maybe take Cincinnati to
8.5.
But
They're getting 8.5 at home.
I want to see Joe Burrow playing on Thanksgiving Day though against the Ravens.
So let me ask you, let's go down this rabbit hole quickly. Do you think that they would play win or lose or draw when he's healthy plays?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just that guy. It means too much to him. He wants to play. He wants to do it. He wants to win. He wants to give him a chance. He'll get to 500. They can get to 9-8. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, never know. All right, let's go to
actually. They can win their division in 9-8 if they.
Come on now.
Oh, I did want to say too, just one more dig at the Falcons. The Falcons have traded their first round pick next year. It looks like they're going to be. It was a trade that everybody hated on from the trade up to get another defensive end in the first round this last year. It looks like it's going to be a top 5 pick, and it's going to go to the Los Angeles Rams. Oh. The Los Angeles Rams is like really on a pace to win the Super Bowl and have a top 3 or 5.
That's wild. Good for them. Good for them. All right, let's see. You can only watch one game. Which one are you choosing this week?
Tampa Bay, Los Angeles, and I don't have to think twice about that. That's an exciting game for me. It could be a big playoff preview game. Tampa Bay is going to win their division. The Rams should, but that's that could be a good preview of two.
If I had to choose one, I agree with you. Give me Colts Chiefs. Yeah. I think there's a lot. We talked about this game a lot. There's a lot of intrigue in this game, and so I want the Chiefs to lose so bad. I want them to be completely out of the picture. That's what I want.
Just season. So if this is the Chiefs, the Chiefs lose to the Colts, and we're really we're seeing that they're not going to make the playoffs, and you just watch that happen over the rest of the year. And if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, do they change anything?
No.
Is there?
Travis Kelce retires probably
100%.
And then they just go about their business, and they're just going to
trade for another free agent tight end or get somebody that's younger to do the Travis Kelce thing.
They'll get McBride from Arizona or something like that, and he'll be super dynamic in that offense.
It's crazy that they're doing this with Kareem Hunt and they're just like, oh, we don't need running backs. We don't need wide receivers. Xavier Worthy's fine. Maybe
they'll realize they actually do need some players. But anyways, dud of the week, which means it's Jeff's time to try and guess the 3 cheapest tickets on the docket this week. I think we're going to go with an obvious choice because this team sucks.
That is a $19 ticket, and that is your second cheapest ticket. Second cheapest.
There's 2 tickets under $20 this week. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's one. Let's go. I hate to say this, but are we talking about Falcons at Saints? There's no way. That's a
number 3. That's a $34 ticket. That's a respectable NFL price to pay for the back last row in the stadium.
All right, last guess is Jaguars Cardinals.
$15 you can go to that game for.
Holy cow. I mean, Jacoby Brissett set an NFL record last year.
Why set a record?
47 completions. Why wouldn't you want to go see that?
He would trade. He would only have 3 completions that he could get a win.
Oh my gosh. 2 games under $20. Folks, take your kids to a game. Like my kids are like, hey, out for Christmas, I'm going to go to a Steelers game. Like, yeah, I don't have that much money. I'm sorry. I
would say you do have 2 tickets over $200, and it's exactly what you would think. The Packers at 201, which Lambeau's always going to be that way if they're terrible. And then New York Giants at Detroit Lions, cheapest ticket is $266.
Oh my gosh. That's
for a Lions team that just got whipped last week and a Giants team that probably doesn't have Jackson Dart playing.
All right.
That's the most expensive.
What's your dud of the week then?
Cleveland at Raiders.
Okay. I'm going to go Seahawks Titans.
I'm going to say all that. Having said that, it's interesting to watch. You've got Myles Garrett with 15 sacks, 15 and a half?
At least 15. Maybe there's a half.
On pace for 25 and a half sacks.
Yep. Would shatter the record held by TJ Watt and Michael Strahan.
Tell me why he's not going to get 25.
I can't see why. The guy piles up sacks in bunches.
It's insane what he's doing. And there's definitely going to be a conversation. If he gets 25 sacks, you got to give him the NFL MVP, right?
No, they won't. It's an offensive.
No?
It's an offensive.
Not at 25.
You can chalk up the defensive player of the year, but you're not going to get. He might get a couple votes, but he's not going to win the MVP. You know that.
25.
I understand what you're saying. TJ Watt had 23 and a half and tied it. Michael Strahan, and I think he got.
Yeah, but one of those was fake.
What?
The famous Brett Favre sack.
Oh, for straight hand or what?
Yeah, straight hand.
I don't know.
Oh, Watt. He's not even the best Watt.
That's debatable. Derek, have you ever seen Derek play?
Yeah, he's the best.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay, this has been a good show, man. Why don't you tell us what you got coming up with the Dome Patrol and on social media?
Yeah, we're sitting here hoping to see the Saints play competitively, but still lose because I want a top 5 draft pick, if not top 1 or 2. But you can find me on X at WhoDatWesley13. You can find us on X, the Dome Patrol podcast at Dome Patrol PCast. You can find Dome Patrol podcast on all your streaming platforms. Jeff, where can we find you in your MRI/X-ray coverage?
Oh, don't forget Spitgate. It's going on there too. SteelCurtainNetwork.com and Steel Curtain Network, wherever you get your podcast. Follow me on Twitter at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. All right, week 12 in the books. Wesley,